So I've been watching people lose their jobs and absolutely get lambasted on Twitter. I've been seeing people just grift like crazy. I've been seeing people just go balls to the walls, nuts. Just extremists against extremists, back and forth, getting crazy engagement. And this is going to be a lot of money for a lot of people, myself included. It's going to be crazy. This is going to be a great month on YouTube for me, by all means. But man, is it just stupid at this point. It is actually dumb. And I mean this beyond all reasonable doubt. Because at this point, we've gotten to the point where you can't say the word or name Charlie. You can't say Charlie Kirk. Whole thing. It's not controversial, not debatable. You can't even say, I don't even like that guy. Because somebody will come out of nowhere and say, heretic, you're a traitor, you're evil, your words are venom, you're filled with cancerous lies. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. If you defend him, if you say, I think Charlie Kirk wasn't that bad of a guy, they say, oh, well, guess what? You like white supremacy. If you say you don't like him, well, guess what? Oh, well, let's say if you do like him, let's say if you don't like him, they'll say, oh, yeah, well, guess what? You're the worst scum of the planet. He was a good Christian man. Let's go get you fired from your job. Both elicit such a disgusting, visceral, I got a cough, guttural reaction from people. I don't know what's going on. I just don't get it. The ones holding up the signs that say facts don't care about feelings. And now it's everyone's feelings matter. They're going to get you fired, blacklisted, digitally executed if you dare to say, maybe Charlie Kirk isn't the Messiah. And now you've got hundreds and hundreds of people, hundreds of grifters, hundreds of just free speech advocates going crazy. And now I love the horseshoe theory so much because it's being put in full effect. Because for a large part, the left was widely saying that Charlie Kirk, should be responsible for his words, and his passing was because of the way he spoke. Now, the same logic is being used indefinitely. It is being used. Well, you lose your job because of the way you spoke. Now, how's that feel? And it's funny because they're false equals, they're false equivalences is how I'd phrase it. They are not the same thing. It is two wildly different things. One person was advocating for literal destruction, has a huge platform and death of things, and the other is not doing that. I don't know how to describe. It's not doing that. One person speaking for minorities, the other one has the backing of the president, literally the backing of the president, because the president called Antifa a terrorist organization. That's what's going on, and it's absurd because it's completely backwards from what Charlie Kirk himself stands for. He has this endless parade of debate me culture. The idea that you should always be able to debate these ideas. The ideas must be tested through fire. Fire. That censorship is cowardice. He fought for those ideas. All that goes out the window the moment his own followers get a whiff that someone might not view him as the second coming of Jefferson. Just Thomas Jefferson. Oh, this is messing me up. I'm so sick right now. I'm so sorry. They've begun to weaponize his name like a sacred artifact. It's not even discourse anymore. It's not. It's a religious war. It's a religious war, and Charlie Kirk is the grinning, airbrushed archangel. He's the Metatron, the voice of God. Sandalphon is the body of God, by the way. Floating above the battlefield, eyes dead with the kind of power you only get when you've watched your followers burn down the village to save the brand. And the craziest part, oh my God, the craziest part is people actually saying, well, the left did it first. You did it first, so I'm doing it back. As if this is just a part of some messy divorce where both parents get custody of fascism. That's not a defense. That's an admission of moral bankruptcy. That's what it is. You've just admitted that you have no self-control. That's a child on the playground saying, he hit me first, while throwing punches with broken glass taped to his hands. When you start defending hypocrisy with precedent, you're no longer interested in truth. You're just collecting trophies from the graveyard of nuance. You don't care. You don't care. You just don't care. I'm sick right now. I'm just terribly sick. I'm so sorry. I'm just really sick. Pray for me. The left does not need to be your blueprint for cruelty. If you genuinely believe you are better, more honest, more righteous, more constitutional, then don't become a mirror of your enemy. unless you were lying about everything, which is great. You can just, it's okay. You can just admit that unless you just want power. But here's the bigger issue, right? When you let extremists, like all the extremists on Twitter and YouTube and all these people, speak for regular people, when you let the voices with the sharpest teeth get the biggest microphones, when everyone else is too afraid to speak in full sentences because they don't want to be labeled a traitor of the tribe, you end up with this horseshoe theory in full effect. The far left and the far right start echoing each other in tone, in tactics, in tribalism, until it's no longer about left or right at all. Because the far right is bringing up examples that the far left did the same way as they. It's just they're bringing up examples all over through. You did this and you did this and you did that. It's about control, punishment, submission, and fear. It's about purity tests so impossible that no regular person is gonna show up to the town square anymore. No regular person gonna be there. You know what's wild? You know what's wild? You know what sucks? The center collapses. The center of people in the center in middle ground. It doesn't collapse from apathy. It collapses from exhaustion. That's why I always consider it two people fighting against each other. There's the vocal minority and the exhausted majority. Because if you're not extreme, you are invisible. You know what's crazy? Saw another person talk about same thing I was talking about. And he's super far left. And he's a small YouTuber. He's got about 5,000 subscribers. And he's saying, like, we should take them all out. And in the comment section are other extremists. He got like 300,000 views on every video he posts. And I'm not jealous of him in any capacity. I'm just saying, like, you will get the people you want if you go extremist mode. Because if you're not guilty, if you're not screaming, you're guilty, is what I want to say. If you're not wearing the uniform, you're a target. Yeah, this stuff is draining. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is. It doesn't just make conversation difficult. It makes existence performative. Like every opinion has to be wrapped in disclaimers. Every sentence must be reviewed with a legal document. Every accidental like on a tweet. Oh, why'd you like that tweet? I'm so sick. Oh my god, I need to get some medicine. This is bad. It's crazy. It's nuts because you're not a person anymore. You're a potential scandal. You're just a potential scandal. And regular people, me too. I know I get making it about myself. Oh my goodness. I'm getting affected by this and it's messing me up. It's so stupid. I just want to be able to say what I want to say. Oh my god. It's so stupid. People are losing jobs, friends, peace, all because they didn't see the invisible tripwire hiding in someone else's name. Charlie Kirk is not the problem, by the way. I want to point this out. I think at this point, I think Charlie Kirk is a swell guy. I'm not even at this point. I think he was the nice one. I think he was. The cult built around the sound of his name is. That's the issue. We used to argue over what someone said, you know? Now, we punish people for who they were standing near when they said nothing. That's what's happening now. It's just disgusting. People are getting fired, not for hurting anyone, not for harassing or lying or exploiting, but for proximity, for breathing next to controversy. It's guilt by osmosis is what it feels like. I don't even think anybody remembers the original offense anymore. They're just seeing, oh, Charlie Kirk, there's blah, 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 Charlie Kirk, blah, 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 blah. So, I'll tell you what I did. What I did when I got off work today. I did something crazy. All right, I did something crazy. That's probably why I'm more sick today. I walked outside. That's right. Yeah. I turned off my phone. I turned that app that I've been screaming into my hippocampus for 5 hours straight. I walked into a world without trending topics. That's what I did. And the craziest thing happened outside. You're not even going to believe this. I talked to people. I spoke to actual living humans with imperfect grammar and honest silences. And no one, not one person, said Charlie Kirk. No one. They didn't praise him. They didn't curse him. They didn't chant his name like an exorcism or whisper it like a slur. They were just people with groceries, tired eyes. One girl told me a weird story about her cat. One guy, what homeless dude, he was wiping his butt in public. Good day. And it was beautiful. There was a woman with a Bernie sticker on a thermos talking to a guy in cowboy boots and a Don't Tread on Me shirt. You know what? You know what's crazy about that? Well, I was in Grosse Point, which is upper Detroit, which is like Michigan Grosse Point. What's crazy about that interaction? They were laughing. Those two people were laughing. That's what they were just laughing, having a conversation outside of Beyond Juicery. That's what happened. The earth didn't open up. God didn't smite them for their sins. They were just people because they both had dogs. They both had dogs, and the dogs liked each other, and they began to talk to each other. And I think they hit it off. And I think that's the part the internet is trying to kill. The messy middle. The real world where people don't agree on everything but still manage to share air and coffee and eye contact without threatening each other's livelihoods. Because online, no one's allowed to be human. You're a brand. You're a symbol. You're a declaration. You're either the sword or the throat. No pun intended. If you hesitate even for a second, the mob fills in your silence with whatever crime they're thirsty to punish today. It doesn't matter if it's the right or the left, it's a mob. They follow whatever is trending. And then they all move on. Isn't that crazy? You know what happens after all this? Star's gonna move on. Drunk on dopamine and empty justice, while you're left picking up the pieces of a life they shattered for likes. This whole dance, right? This stupid, suffocating digital gladiator match isn't about Charlie Kirk. It's just about fear and control. It's about building a world where speaking is dangerous, silence is interpreted, and peace is suspicious. It's about burning the bridge while blaming the river, where both sides start acting like the other is inhuman. When the only acceptable response is vengeance, the entire center of the culture gets chewed to dust. That's the horseshoe theory. It's not an idea, it's a trap. We're all stepping into it, barefoot and blindfolded. And let's be honest, Charlie Kirk doesn't care. He doesn't. He doesn't care. Like, to be quite real from you, I'm gonna be real with you here. He he wouldn't. I don't think he would like this. I think this seems a bit much even for him. I think. You know the people who are getting crushed? School teachers, the freelancers, the interns, the baristas, the quiet ones, the ones who just want to be allowed to exist without declaring allegiance to brand. They're the ones who are being set on fire while the kings of chaos sip wine on the balcony. Turn it off for an hour or a day. Just turn it all off. Just let the extremists scream in their own echo chamber while you go find someone with a pulse. Just go. Just go. Just go speak to someone and have a story end with something like and then I spilled coffee on myself. This war, it isn't worth it. It isn't real. You know what's real? The breeze on your skin. The shared laughter. That's real. Feel real. Because if you keep breathing like the internet, we keep breathing the internet like it's air, you start thinking the outrage is oxygen. Man, I'm so sick right now. Must be all the Kirk in the air. Be a person. Just a person. Take a walk. Say hello. Don't be this. Just don't say Charlie, please.